See how it's tight down there? See that little edge here? That's the finishing touch. We'll do that later. People are always like, oh, I got to put epoxy in there. It's to really slide it down more. I just hammer it. Now, this process basically is I just put the irons in, I'm good to go. You hear that noise? Right? It's still going down. Hear that noise? Yeah. It's different, so it's in. All it is right there. Boom. And that's not hurting it. I could get a hammer and do the same thing. Most companies will get a hammer and just get like whatever board depth they have set at, and they just hammer it in. But usually, like, everyone's different, kind of.
Hey, Danny, say hi to everybody.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Will you tell them what you're doing?
I'm actually getting the ferrules into the irons right now. Trust me, not hurting the shaft at all. So it's in, set. The reason I do it now is just to get the ferrules in. I really don't need, epoxy to get it in because it's still tight fitting, so no worries there. So I'm just putting all the ferrules onto Justin's set right now. Most of the time people think you need epoxy. Really, depending on the ferrule and how tight it is, it'll go in there pretty easy. See how tight it is now? Get it down. And then get it down as far as you can. Typically, sometimes you use a hammer, but you can just bang hit. And then the noise, the ferrule's in, good to go. So we've already done the weighting of his set, cut it to plain length. Swing weight it out, all the swing weights are good. So the next step is just putting the ferrule on. Then after that, we'll go ahead and epoxy them up. And then they should be ready to hit shortly. And no, I'm not hurting the shaft. Shaft carbon's very strong, so we're all good there.
What do you guys think?
It's awesome.
Yeah,
It's a great process to see firsthand.
yeah, it's good. It's something I needed to learn how to do, and should come in handy down the road.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Sometimes just make sure though, we'll measure it.
Is that how you put them on too, Lindsay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So right now we're doing Justin's set. Should be done with the ferrule install here. Which one is this? Very tight ferrules.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely don't need epoxy, do they?
Nope, not when they're that tight. That's why I know, you need easy to put it in there because of how long it is. Typically with shorter ferrules,
Yeah.
you can get away with going in there. Usually with shorter ferrules, I will epoxy those things a little bit.
Uh-huh.
These long ferrules, I know they're on the tight side, so They're not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, they're not gonna move anywhere. Hulk.
Was there a hashtag on it?
Hulk is mad. Actually, I'm gonna, for your set, I'm gonna use the 20-minute.
Hey guys, give me a thumbs up or say something if you think Lindsay should go to Starbucks and get me a unicorn because I want to try one.
There's gonna be
I
hundred
got
thumbs up.
nothing. They're probably like, what the hell is a unicorn?
What's a unicorn? This epoxy is awful.
It's pretty much sugar and some shaved ice, food coloring.
C-Bakes 28. I tend to agree, but don't you think they should be experienced? Michael would like to know what epoxy you're using, Danny.
Switch it up. I am using
Detasler, you're dead to me.
DP820.
There you go.
So the tour van guys will use DP810. So essentially that's really work time. So tour van, they say 10 minutes. It's actually closer to 5 minutes. It cures that fast.
Mike G said you should. Mike G, you're my new favorite. Get better soon, man.
So I'm just using enough for
4
some
more
runs.
people gave thumbs up.
For what?
Starbucks unicorn.
Okay, we'll see you in 20 minutes.
Basically, just the epoxy just mixed together
Oh,
like
we
that.
got a thumbs up. Another one.
So this is basically a 20-minute work time.
Yeah, so once you get that mixed up,
You're good to go.
yeah.
So just mix it thoroughly.
That's like 12 to 2 in favor of Starbucks unicorn.
So
Yeah, you can,
You were upset.
it's got an odor.
you got a big time odor, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, got another one.
basically, now we've just done this, right?
Uh-huh.
Just put the epoxy into the head, mix it around, make sure it gets all of the crevices in there. Especially these irons are pretty good about it. And then,
You really can't use too much, can you?
you know, you can't use too much. You can use, the more you use, whatever, doesn't matter, but it's wasteful. And then all you do is, voila, you hear that noise?
Yeah.
Air escaping. Pop. So just make sure the logo's lined up. Boom. So look top, make sure it's good. Clean any excess epoxy off of this, just to make sure it's pretty. And this would be good to play in short time. With the 4-iron onto the 5-iron, just basically rinse, repeat, right?
JB needs a unicorn, according to Dustin Miller. I agree, Dustin.
Boy, there's a lot of unicorn. Do you guys even drink it? Or you're just like trying to get this guy to drink it? So, anyways, yeah, so now basically add another glop of epoxy in there.
That's the technical term, folks. It's glop.
Glop, yeah, another glop, another one. So,
That's just because they like the video.
they like the video, they don't like the,
It is easy as that. I mean, Danny does make it look easy, but it is.
it is, I mean, look at that,
Yeah.
boom,
There's there.
there's air coming out. Just make sure it's lining up properly.
Nathan, I'm pretty sure we both know that that's not true. If Jordan Spieth was wearing a unicorn, you would try to adopt him as a pet. Just kidding, Nate.
He's not kidding. Your love obsession is of Jordan is scary.
He said, good point.
So, this is,
Can you adopt a unicorn as a pet?
yes, they existed.
They exist.
If
They exist. They exist in my girl's, you know, fairy tale books. Yes, so
Therefore, they must be.
they must be true somewhere, right? So yes, JB's point about having too much epoxy, I can put this whole thing in there. It'd be okay.
Yeah, better
But-
too much than too little.
Exactly. Better too much than too little. So, but the problem with too much is sometimes it adds additional weight that we're not trying to get. So
Mike G,
it's not
that's
much.
funny.
And it can cause a mess.
Yeah, and it's wasteful.
Very wasteful, especially when you're paying a lot of money for this epoxy.
Danny
Like the
bought
standard.
this morning.
Yes, the standard epoxy you can get for roughly like 8 to 10
I
bucks.
was seriously
good
just
ones,
looking for
like 24-hour epoxy. When you get, when you get to this kind of stuff, it's just more expensive. So I'm just cleaning off the excess epoxy. So really, it's more anything. It's just more cosmetic than anything else. Like when we turn down the ferrule.
M. Ward just asked, and I think you answered it earlier, but because he wasn't around, do you prefer the 90-minute cure or the quick set?
I prefer 24-hour, not the 90-minute.
24-hour?
You either go 24 hours because essentially what epoxy is doing is spread over time. So the 24 hours is probably the best one because it's still, even though it's curing throughout that time frame, it's slowly spreading throughout that whole hosel. So all the nooks and crevices it'll get into a little bit better.
Jeff Spicoli added, "Don't waste epoxy. There's starving children in Texas."
It might, yeah. You can get high. Luckily, I'm kind of out here. Especially this stuff. This stuff smells really bad.
Yeah.
That first whip I got was strong.
You know you want more.
It'll make your eyes water.
So from now on, it's just rinse, repeat until we're done with the set. Jeremy said it's going to be a little bit more complicated.
And we're going to stay on for that.
Reality is not that complicated, but
Getting high on epoxy, don't try this stuff at home, kids. That's what Dustin Miller said.
Dustin Pedroia?
By the second round of him moving to the shafts, there may or may not be a purple beverage.
May not is probably.
I don't know.
I
I'm
tried,
thinking
guys. I'm doing it for the people here.
There's votes.
I want you guys to be able to understand if it's good or bad.
It's probably really,
Does it
really
matter after tomorrow though?
I can't believe you haven't tried it yet.
I know, me neither. Every time I've tried, it's been gone.
What do you mean it's been gone?
Like this, they ran out of them already.
They run out of it?
Yeah.
What kind of promos are they doing? They run out.
I don't know, the same one Apple does and Sony does and everybody else does when they run out of products.
Yeah,
Big
but
Bertha or Epic, I mean.
It's food. It's food. It's not like it's.
There's not a lot of sugar in the world, and it takes a lot to make. Need a unicorn. Make THP great again. That's fantastic, Mike G.
Oh God.
She's standing right behind the camera, Mike. Tell it to Lindsay. Mike's injured too. He wants to know about the unicorn.
Oh my god.
He can't make it out of the house to go get his own.
Right.
So he wants to live vicariously.
Exactly.
The people on Mamiya.
Yeah.
Fresh batch.
Now, why not just make one bigger batch and go through it? Is it a timing thing?
Because of timing. So when you're using to event, like when you're working with metal woods, it's easy. You're working with 1 or 2 clubs, you can just do it. But I prefer to have a little bit longer work time, just in case something screws up, and it happens a lot when you're building.
Mike G says, please do it for the hobbled fellow Texan.
Always keep the this piece around just in case, like after the fact, so make sure the epoxy cures properly. Because a lot of times, what people do is they'll mix the epoxy and they'll finish it and they'll throw it away. If you throw it away, you don't know if the epoxy cured or not. So just keep it around just in case it didn't cure properly, because a lot of times it happens.
Danny, Mesa Man would like to know if you check swing weight again after attaching the heads.
Yes, because it will go slightly up because of the added epoxy and also the ferrule. Typically not too much, but when I dry weight it, it's already with the head, shaft, length, and the grip. So it gives me an approximate idea of where the swing weight should be. And if you're just using normal epoxy, it shouldn't add a ton of weight to it. So it's not a big deal. But yeah, after the fact, I'll measure it again. So it should be within a quarter point of it. But with Jeremy's set, I'm gonna have to do some other stuff to it, meaning
And now, what are you putting in there for the people who didn't know that
just
already?
tip weight. It's a
How many
light tip
grams is
weight.
that?
That's only 2 grams.
2 grams?
Yeah. Really, he wouldn't feel it if I didn't put it in there. But all I'm doing is getting the set consistent across the board.
Makes sense.
So with the swing weight, all I care about is consistency.
I agree, I do need one. she's still standing here though.
So swing weight consistency is the most important thing. If it's D0, D1, whatever it is, D2, D3.
Now you don't think a person, the average golfer, or even some at the highest level, could tell a difference too much between one swing point weight, right?
No. You can tell a difference between two swing weight. Now,
On the internet you can.
and then you can. Now the CG difference, yes, you could probably tell a difference. You guys, about CG on club heads, but even on like shafts, we do worry about CG because that will affect swing weight points. Typically with irons, you will see the CG closer towards the tip side. With metal woods, depending on the shaft type, we will try to either push the CG towards the butt end, which will make it more counterbalanced. When it's more counterbalanced, it will actually decrease the swing weight, even though it's the same weight. So what a lot of these club manufacturers can do then is basically build driver heads that are a little heavier. Make the
Same thing as going to a heavier grip.
yeah.
Does Danny prefer D2 or D3 Mighty Ducks?
I've seen D1, 2. So I don't know about 3, so I prefer 2. How about that?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
I believe he's technically referring to, do you prefer a swing weight at D2 or D3? But I could be wrong.
I think you're wrong.
It's very possible that he's just really into Emilio Estevez.
Yes.
Was he into all of those?
No. Yes, I don't know.
It had to be.
No, I don't think so.
So there's no truth to the rumor that you have pictures of him under your mattress?
Nope. That would be scary.
Just checking.
Scary. Scary, buddy. Check this out. Cleveland wedges with field balancing technology.
Field balance, yes.
You know what that is?
Yes.
What? I'm asking these guys.
Oh,
Put the mass more out toward the sweet spot of the club.
Yes,
Or,
more in the
on
sweet spot.
CG.
Yes. There you go.
Awesome.
also 2 gram tip weight.
2 gram tip weight, yep. So yeah, with Cleveland, they basically remove 9 grams of mass from the
He's seen the THP TV video also.
yep.
Yeah, I watched
THP.
it. That's where I pick it up.
9 grams of mass from the hosel. If you ever look at old Cleveland wedges,
Yeah, they're
very long hosels.
yeah.
And Cleveland players who know that look, it was a tough adjustment.
Yeah.
Have the CG.
See how the hosel is so much shorter?
Yeah.
So they took basically 9 grams away, cut it off the hosel, distribute it closer to the center of club face. Therefore, it feels better. Field balancing technology. Boom.
Danny's a Cleveland wedge fan. Before you guys came in, we were having a conversation about wedges we liked and didn't like, and he mentioned that he liked the wedges.
I have a CG10 at home.
Matches the driver.
I only took 2 swings with them. That's all we needed though, because they were
They're money.
yeah.
Well, there weren't
so
any other
good.
models.
no, but they were. I mean, it was just tight. 2 yards difference in the 2 shots.
That's solid.
yeah.
Fitting shouldn't require that many shots.
Do you find that, and that's something we can discuss, do you find that if you're going to spend more time doing it, your swing is good, your body's going to adapt
Yes.
and try to fix whatever it is that's different?
Yes. So when we do testing, I prefer only 2 to 3 swings at the most, because once they think they feel something, then they'll adjust accordingly with their swing or how they interact with the golf ball. So we don't want that. We want it to work for them from the beginning. So if you actually, a lot of tour players, they can adjust to it within 2 swings and hit it the way they want to. And
Danny can too.
yes, I can, because I'm that good. So it's a matter of fact that after 2 or 3 swings, you should know right away if it's going to work or not work. And then also the impact and the sound, it sounds totally different too as well.
Explain that.
It just sounds differently, more solid contact. Just how the golfers react to, they're like, wow, this feels good. You kind of know right away that it's going to work.
We got another one, Lindsay.
Another thumbs up?
Yeah.
That unicorn frappuccino is going to be the death of me.
Probably. It might be the death of me.
might.
Wouldn't that be worth it right there?
I mean, it's got 76 grams of sugar in it.
Oh, I'm getting the bigger size.
He's gonna go.
Oh, so it's gonna be about 150 grams of sugar.
I'm not getting the biggest size.
Should we just go ahead and have
You
an
want a
ambulance
Trenta?
waiting?
What?
A
Here?
Trenta. That's the biggest.
I thought Venti was.
No, they got a Trenta.
No, I want Grande.
Trenta's 30 ounce, right?
Yeah.
Venti's 20 ounce.
I want Grande.
What was that movie?
Oh, they were yelling about the venti.
Yeah.
You guys should get out more.
I don't get out. I have 2 kids.
Danny, what recoils are you building right now?
Recoil
say.
120. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
But you know what? It's different in his irons too, by the way.
Forgot, we do have a contest going on.
Oh, you're
on
doing
THP
wedges.
Forum.
yeah, the wedges don't even count.
Oh, we're on the wedges. Okay, perfect.
Okay, Justin said it's done. So now, 30 minutes later, we can grip them, turn them down.
You ready to take some swings?
I am. I'm gonna get a grip.
So within the next hour, those will pretty much be ready to hit almost.
Yep. So we'll do
We
that.
probably showed off the weights too in the video. But again, that's not necessarily what it was because that was the wedge.
Yeah, you have to put in a no edited
Oh, we got
guest
another one.
post.
They really want you to go to Starbucks.
Danny, give the thumbs up if I should go to Starbucks and get a Frappuccino.
Well, you can get anything you want.
Tables have been turned.
Oh, that's okay. Danny, give us a thumbs up.
He's even got a purple shirt on today,
So do you.
and so do I.
So that was DP 823M. Most tour vans are DP 810. So
And what would be the difference for the ones who caught us late?
just a set time.
Set time.
Yep. DP 810 is roughly 10 minutes. Depends on temperature too. Like today we've had good weather. Typically with temperature, you're gonna be, if it's hot, it's gonna be a lot faster set time. If it's cool like today, it's gonna set roughly 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yep. So now doing Jeremy's set.
And now explain why his is a little different.
His swing weight's on the lower side. So what I'm doing is, the reason I'm using 24-hour epoxy, with this 24-hour epoxy, I'm actually going to throw it into the oven to cure it, which will make it cure within an hour. Most of these big club companies, because they're building clubs all the time, they're using curing cells, and those things are really expensive. I've looked at prices, and those things are a super high dollar.
Before you finish, we have one more swing weight question.
Yep.
Mason Man would like to know, do swing weights generally go up in wedges because the shafts are shorter?
No, it goes up because they're typically a little heavier, design-wise. So they go up because of that.
Okay.
Because it's such a short club, typically, you know, you're hitting a lot of finesse shots, so that's why you typically see the swing rate a little higher.
Now, back to you were saying about his set. Or was it about unicorns?
What?
You see how he slyly just pulls that unicorn back in there?
I'm trying to pull the unicorn.
Danny,
back
put the
out.
thumbs up if you want me to go get unicorn. Chinos. See, we're not getting a thumbs up from Danny.
He's got his hands down. That's like saying you kick him in the junk and he bends over.
It's a given.
Is it pears, dude?
Danny is a big fan of Starbucks, by the way. So with 24-hour cure, can you do the whole set in one batch?
Oh yeah, I can leave this here for,
24 hours.
24, not really.
No.
It'll start like curing probably within an hour, 45 minutes, like a little harder and harder and firmer.
And it gets really almost gummy.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to describe it. It's gummy. And I just use a little heat to kind of make this a little softer so I can just mix it more. With this particular batch that I'm doing, because the swing weights are on the lower side, I already added a little bit of tip weight, and now I'm adding a little bit of tungsten powder to it. So tungsten powder adds a lot of weight to it. It's a feel thing too, how much to add. I've been doing it enough to know, pinch here 2, 3, 4, whatever it is to get one additional swing weight. Again, this is very small. It's not I'm not trying to get like 3 or 4 additional swing weight points. If that's the case, then I would put like even heavier weights in there. I'm just trying to get an additional 1 or 2 swing weights.
Lindsay, do you see the screen?
You gotta stop recording.
Just wanted to show our viewers what I'm missing out. So with his set being different, is there any different prep things you have to do?
Nope.
Just kind of know going in, you keep good notes about what you have to do to
Yep,
to get
write
the
it all
set.
down. I write notes, you know, like what the length, loft, lie should be. That's after the fact. And then the swing weight, what it is with the head, shaft, without anything, length, cut, grip. The grip we're using is a slightly heavier grip too, so that actually will make it swing weight out a little lighter. His set is actually going to be heavier than Justin's set, but the swing weight is actually lighter because of different components to it. So that's why swing weight is overrated to me. You know, I'm more worried about total weight. But the main thing is the set's very consistent. So next step is just to go ahead and do all the clubs now.
Now this is a set of 565s?
Yep.
Seven.
765.
765s.
765, sorry. 765.
Good looking set of irons.
It is.
Shout out to Cleveland Strixon again.
Yep.
Yes.
So, you see I put a little epoxy on there. So now if I actually put this on there, it'd actually make it slide a bit easier into the shaft.
For those that joined us late, can you explain, you're not a have to put epoxy around the ferrule guy, are you?
No, but see how that slides down a lot easier now with the epoxy.
Thanks for the thumbs up.
I don't care about epoxy in the ferrule. It's not going to do anything. If the ferrules are correct, the sizing that you use and stuff like that, it should stay there. And then plus, at the end of the day, it's really cosmetic. That's going to be very tight, so no need to have epoxy sit in there.
Yeah, the ferrule's completely cosmetic.
Yes, it's all just to make it look pretty. There's a little gunk on there from something, not sure, so just...
That's the unicorn I'm trying to have, V-Man.
Yeah.
He said he wants water from Starbucks. It tastes better than Ozarka. I tried to get you a Frappuccino, Andrew, but I did.
Yes. The unicorn is just a side win.
Yeah. Trying to get Danny a white mocha latte or whatever he drinks.
White mocha latte.
What did you get? You got something like that?
What is that?
Don't play crazy.
I'm playing crazy. Oh yeah, there we go. See, if air doesn't escape, it becomes a problem.
Explain how you know the air is escaping for people who haven't shafted before.
You can hear that noise.
Yeah.
Just
It's
just
like it almost sounds like a bubble.
like a bubble.
Yeah, like a bubble popping.
bubble
Yeah.
popping. That's all it is. Because of the tip weight, there's less room for the epoxy to travel into the inside of the shaft. You know, people get hung up about putting something into the shaft, and worried about it breaking, stuff like that. It's not going to happen.
How do you club builders at home? Do any of you guys have a rack like that? Or are you leaning against the table kind of guy?
I don't have this at home.
I have that little red one that you have right on the side of the bench.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one.
So can you install a shaft with a grip already installed?
Yes. If you already have a grip installed, make sure, depending on how they tape it, if you tape it and it covers that end, make sure there's a hole so air can escape.
Correct.
If there's no air escaping, you could potentially have an issue, but most of the time, you could have the shaft at the bottom popping out. But Again, it depends on the epoxy you're using and how fast the epoxy cures. If it cures fast enough, you could potentially get away with it.
One of our members, I missed his name, asked, what would be the bare minimum somebody would need to do some shafting at home?
Bare minimum?
Yeah. I guess epoxy and a shaft.
and a
right?
shaft. You just get a hacksaw to cut the graphite. If you have a hacksaw, then essentially what you do is you just got to make sure you tape the shaft, especially graphite. Or if you're using anything else, you can use a pipe cutter, but we're talking about graphite only.
I just want to point out for the broadcast that Lindsay is currently drinking the drink that I bought for her. Just throwing that out there. I stopped at the store and brought that for her. She didn't request it. I just did.
Thank you, Josh.
Just throwing that out. Is there anything you need to do different when you're doing the two different sets because one set may weigh something different than the other one? Or the 765 and 565 is pretty similar?
The weights are pretty similar. So there's no.
So as long as you're checking swing weight, making
Yeah,
sure
as long as
it's
you're
right.
checking. I never really check head weight, to be honest. I'll check maybe head weight with metal woods because I know for exact, if the driver head with the adapter is like 200 grams, and I know I could build a certain shaft at 45 inches and get D2 swing weight, right? Irons.
Would like to know what's the latest on custom color recoils being offered to the public.
Soon. Well, I know we said soon last time, but it's almost done. So if you want a color, you can send me an email and I'll charge you an arm and a leg. But
Or just get a tour card.
McRock, I tend to agree with you. And CJ Golf, Monster Orange is disgusting. You shouldn't drink that. He said he prefers Monster Orange to the red.
This is really good.
That was very nice of you to bring that.
Yeah.
It's not gonna let you live it down, right?
That's all you're going to be talking about tonight.
I'd have better success because if she goes to the store now, she's coming back, she's throwing it at me. Match my shirt.
Yeah, you'll hardly be able to tell.
I know. Are you looking for the logo down on each one?
yeah. So always logo down on when I install stuff. That's just because it's a more of a preference, not to look at anything. In terms of, one of the questions these guys had, graphite and steel will have a spine, whether it's the same material, because there has to be some kind of spine there. But during the engineering and design process, we're able to identify a stable plane. And so we always have a notch on our shafts, and then that way it tells the painter how to paint the shaft. But like I said, during the engineering and design process, our guys are designed to where we get the most consistent radial consistency on the shaft, meaning making the shaft really, really round. So I prefer logo down, but if you install sideways, right, left, 45, backwards, up, whatever,
No issues.
No issues.
So it's weird that I'm not seeing you pure and flow a shaft.
No reason to. With any quality manufacturer, whether it's us, our competitors, most of our competitors are good, so I'm not even worried about theirs. I mean, I could say that you need it, but really, you don't. It's more, if you want to do it, great, do it, go for it. If it gives you more...
Emart, she was already involved. She did some sandblasting. She can definitely build clubs at this point. We were holding her out of the build because we thought she was going to be leaving here shortly. She asked why you weren't here. I said you were already doing that.
Danny is the master club builder and fitter.
Just ask.
I know how to build.
Yes.
I just don't ever do it.
Been to school to do it?
I did. I went
There's the
to-
teacher right there.
I went to Danny Lee and I went to Golfsmith.
She went to Goldsmith School.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did for 3 days. I was the only girl there.
Oh, we got gop. Gooey, goppy stuff.
Ironically enough, when I learned how to do this, I went to a thing called Strixon University. I know it sounds weird. It's
And
just
we have got tricks on heads. And
I know.
on
That's
heads.
why. Yeah. When I first got into the golf business a decade ago, they had this thing, and they invited the media out there, and you kind of learn how to do all this stuff. It was pretty cool.
Oh wow.
It's good of them. A lot of people don't know how to build, so
No. And now they're learning from you.
Yeah.
sorry.
So, spining, flowing, puring, you just don't believe in any of it.
No.
Now, would you say if somebody was using just a complete garbage shaft or something from, and I don't mean that poorly made or manufactured, or something from a decade and a half ago, would it matter?
It could help out, but still, I mean, how consistent is your swing, right?
Mine, incredibly
Yeah. So
inconsistent.
exactly, it's no matter what you think about it, you just have to be a robot to take advantage of it, and we're not robots. So I'm not a big fan of it because they charge an arm and a leg. But then again, if that makes you more comfortable playing golf,
And that was kind of my take on it before, is I've seen the data to say whether it works or not.
yep.
But if somebody's mental enough and it makes them feel better,
Go for it. Just like some people were obsessed with like having the shaft, the CPM, whatever it might be of the shaft, the exact same for every club, right? Whatever it is, and
is that even possible with grinding? When you have
Yeah.
to take the cello off?
yeah, it's possible. It just from a production standpoint, it costs more. Because then you're obviously from a production environment. Now your tolerance becomes even tighter. And, a lot of our shafts, the reason it costs us sometimes more to make is because our tolerance is pretty tight on some stuff in terms of weight. Plus or minus 3 grams. It's obviously from a standing standpoint, it's very cumbersome to get certain targets achieved.
Mick Rock wants to know, if you want to extract graphite shafts and save the shaft, is there a way to do it without buying a shaft extractor?
Nope.
No.
Because
I mean, technically, you might if you got the heat exactly right, but you're going to probably put a little too much heat on there based on the pressure you need.
I use high heat. I use a propane, so
Yeah, me
it's not a big deal to use propane because you're concentrating on the head.
But you
So-
don't have to break it all the way down with an extractor because you can pull it off with the
Yeah, exactly.
extractor.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of times, like if I had a steel shafted club, for example, actually, I have a steel shaft here. I'm reshafting it for a customer or a buddy of mine.
Those are two very different things.
What? Blowtorch, still, it's already on here. I just heat it up. I'm running low. But yeah, you just heat it towards where the hosel is. This is where the epoxy.
And you can sometimes hear it.
Yeah,
right?
sometimes hear it. But it essentially, what you're trying to hear is you're breaking down the epoxy. And with graphite, you can't do this. You can do this, but with steel, I can turn it, right? See, you can hear it.
By the way, don't always do this at home without something because sometimes the head gets hot.
Well, if you know how to do the blowtorch, the head. So see, that's how easy it is
We're
to pull it
trying
out.
to put just disclaimers up there
Disclaimer,
so nobody
yeah.
goes and burns themselves.
So with a steel, you can pull it out like that. It's real simple. You're done. Graphite, you can't. You have to do puller because if you twist it, that means the fibers are going to get twisted and it's going to look funny. I've done it before, so. That's why I know. Don't do it.
That should show everybody that anybody can reshaft steel. That took him 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
By the time you got your materials and
Oh.
everything, simmer down. Nobody's calling you slow.
What's that? Oh, Dennis.
So he's working his way through the set, like 2 minutes. Hey, listen, don't make me end this thing. You're working your way through the set. Are you building other clubs for them as well?
This is it.
This is it.
So 4-through pitching wedge
4-through pitching wedge.
with the Z565.
Yep.
And then RTX black satin 50, 54, and 58.
Good looking set of clubs right there.
Yeah, it is.
That's for
That sounds awful familiar.
that's for Justin. For Jeremy, we're going with the 765 and the Tour Satin finish, 50, 54, and 58. One of the rationales for the 765 for Jeremy is that...
He likes the internet.
What? He likes the internet?
Yeah.
He needs a little bit more spin with his irons. His current gamer's a little bit too low spin for him. So, obviously the goal of irons is to hit on greens and stay on greens. So we went with the 765. And the 565s for Justin is going to be a little bit faster ball speeds, but also a little bit lower spin because of the face.
You did the fitting, and Justin came from an older set of clubs. We
Correct.
were saying roughly about 10 years, right?
Yeah.
The difference in technology between the two club heads was pretty drastic, wasn't it?
Yes, I mean, obviously from a standpoint of offset and look, we're getting the benefit of a more of a player's look, but in a game improvement package with the 565. So really, ultimately, what we got is a little bit better feel. Numbers are pretty similar, just a little bit more consistency, just from the shaft and the head combination on that particular model.
And
So
being able to do that in a model that's half the size.
correct, yeah. Half the size, looks better, it feels better. Don't get me wrong, Callaway's, those things were ahead of its day when it was designed.
X18s, correct.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that about wraps it up for this session. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back later this evening. We can't tell you where we're going yet or anything like that, but the guys are going to have some fun tonight, and we're going to come back on briefly later on. I'll post up a time in the forum. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.